Everybody's so quiet.
I
have to tell you a funny story. I've been doing these talks for a really long time, and so during one talk, one of the patients fell asleep. I mean, he was that cold, even snoring. And after the talk, he came up to me and says, "Dr. Kondrot, I want to thank you. That was one of the best talks I ever heard."
The best talking made it.
Yeah, because maybe he was hearing it on a different level, you know. So if you want to sleep, close your eyes and sleep. Because sleep is very important. We're going to talk about that. And many of you have insomnia. And I think the topic that I'm going to address today about the unwanted electromagnetic frequencies that are surrounding us. And they are interfering with our sleep, and they are interfering with our health and our physical well-being. If we could see the electromagnetic frequencies in this room, it would be like a soup. Everything around us, all over the place. And we're being constantly bombarded. I've been seeing a lot more patients recently with macular problems, and I think it's related to smart meters. Are you familiar with the smart meter? You know, years ago, the utility guy, the meter man, would come and read your meter. They'd take a number down and send it to the utility company. So now there's no more meter readers. They have a smart meter which is installed in the meter, which sends an electrical signal. So one of the first things I want you to do is find out if you have a smart meter in your home and find out its location. If it's near your bedroom, you're in trouble. So this one patient that I evaluated, the smart meter was like directly outside the wall next to her bed. So imagine sleeping at night being bombarded by these frequencies. So, you know, we live in this electromagnetic soup. We have Wi-Fi, cell phones, and numerous studies. If you start to do some research, and I'm going to be addressing this at the Vision event that's coming up. It's a live stream event. I'm going to be giving a 1-hour talk on the dangers of electromagnetic frequencies and what you need to do to correct them. So our body's DNA, it's kind of like an antenna. You know, we're receiving these electromagnetic signals. And studies have shown that it does cause damage to the DNA. And I think we're all aware there seems to be an increased incidence of sterility. You know, it seems like every time I turn around, there's a couple that are struggling to have a child. And there was one researcher that said that the electromagnetic waves, in particular cell phones and computers, are destroying the ovaries. But at the same time, it's actually destroying the ovary of the unborn baby. And this researcher predicted that in 3 to 4 generations, life on Earth may cease to exist because damage to the reproductive system. The electromagnetic frequencies are decreasing the motility of male sperm. Studies have shown that, you know, they're measuring the motility, the action that's being decreased. So the damage is just on and on and on. And now, with the introduction of the 5G, there are some organizations that are just really fighting to try to prevent the introduction of the 5G. The 5G network is extremely high frequency and extremely high intensity of electromagnetic energy. There have been studies that people who live near these radio towers, you know, cell towers, there's an increase. Oh, speaking of electromagnetic, they're putting it right next to our ear. You don't want to do that. Talk on your cell phone like this. Keep it away from your ear. Don't hold it here. So a A couple of years ago, I interviewed a gentleman who wrote a book called Dirty Electricity. And if you're interested in learning more about dirty electricity, you can go to Kondrot podcast. And I think it was Samuel Milham. He wrote the book Dirty Electricity. And it was a phenomenal, fantastic interview. He has a passion for making people be more aware of this dirty electricity. Our bedrooms should be electromagnetic neutral. We should not have any electrical equipment in our bedroom. When electricity flows through a wire, a magnetic frequency is produced. You know, an electrician can get an amp meter and hold it right over the wire, and he can tell you exactly the level of the current. So when you have active current flowing in your bedroom, it's producing these magnetic frequencies. And so that could be one of the reasons why you're having difficulty sleeping. I became acutely aware of this when I was doing my research with Ning Wu. Ning Wu is the brilliant electrician. And when we were researching microcurrent, I was in my office and I was hooked up to an oscilloscope. And he was running different frequencies into my body, and he was measuring them on the oscilloscope. And so we were recording different frequencies, how it was affecting and flowing through my body. So he disconnected the microcurrent, and the oscilloscope was still going. It was going 50, I think, cycles. And I said to Ning, oh, that must be my heart rate. And he said, no, it's not your heart rate. You're picking up the electric signal in the circuits. If you can believe that. So as we're sitting here, we're picking up the electromagnetic signals. So now we're having frequencies from satellites, Wi-Fi. How many of you have turned on your computer or cell phone in a metropolitan area and you got like 30 Wi-Fi signals? That's being bombarded. So here out in the country, we have one poor, pathetic Wi-Fi signal that you can barely use. But it still exists. We're not being bombarded. So what I recommend is that maybe some of you turn off your Wi-Fi at night. Maybe turn off your circuit breaker in your home. Don't have any active electrical equipment running. And certainly identify if you have a smart meter. So I recently invested in a device called an acoustometer. And this actually measures electromagnetic fields pretty accurately. So my wife and I, we enjoy walking in the morning, and I have a YouTube video. We were near one of these huge cell towers, and I held this up, and the thing went off the chart. So apparently a safe level, the microwatts per square meter should be less than 5, should be around 1. And the peak volts per meter should be, less than 0.2. So there is a background noise in this right here. I'm getting maybe 50 and 1, the peak meter. Could be from the lights, and if you turn on your cell phone, you can see it. So I'm going to do a demonstration. That's the key, Miss Lee. Can you get the phone? I'm going to do a demonstration on the microwave. So let's turn the microwave on high. Ashley, you want to help? Let's turn the microwave on high, and we'll see what happens. I'm at this distance. It's almost off the chart. Go back away. So if you look on YouTube, there's a short YouTube on, the cell tower. So this is all around us. So what can you do? One of the most effective things that you can do is something called earthing. We talked about that a few days ago, grounding your body. And probably about a month ago, I bought an earthing mat in my bed. So it's just a sheet that you sleep on top of. And I'll tell you what, I am amazed the quality of sleep I'm getting at night. And also what I did is I've been measuring my heart rate variability, because I do have a lot of stress, and I kind of suppress it. And my heart rate variability has dramatically changed.
Is that the same as the biomat with crystals?
No.
Oh, that's okay. So an earthing mat is different.
This is different. This particular earthing mat that I bought, it's called Conscious Ideas. That's the name of the company. Conscious Ideas. It comes with a little device to measure your ground. Number one, you need a good ground. So if you live in an older home, you may not have a good ground. So you plug this into your socket, and it gives you a reading if you have a good ground. If you're grounded, you need to have a good grounding. And then you have this wire that connects to your circuit. And this is the mat right here. In fact, I'm going to start to travel with the mat. So this is the mat, the sheet. So I lay it on top of the bed, so when my wife and I, we lie at the top, but the bare skin has to hit this mat. So you can't put the mat underneath the sheet. So I am really excited about this, and I've been wanting to do an experiment, and since most of you here have glaucoma, I am going to request that all of you here, remember we talked about the practice of medicine? You all are suffering from glaucoma, and you really can't wait for a government-sponsored national study to come out to show that maybe grounding can help glaucoma. I mean, wouldn't all of you want to know, can grounding help glaucoma? I'm convinced that something is going on because my heart rate variability has changed dramatically by using this. And also, my sleep cycle has dramatically improved. I mean, it's amazing. And I have to kick myself because I read Dr. Sinatra's book, Earthing, about 5 years ago. And maybe some things just didn't sink into my brain. And now I'm rereading it and I'm saying, oh my goodness, this is amazing. He even has some cases of eye problems that have been cured. But for some reason, when I read it 5 years ago, it just didn't register with me. So I think the time is right. So I want to conduct an experiment with you in addition to all the therapies that I've talked about. Get yourself an earthing mat. You can go on Amazon. I think it's around $50. Sleep with it every night. And let's see what happens over 3 months. Because you spend most of your time, and all of us, when we're sleeping, we are not being grounded. And remember I talked about the magnetic frequencies that are in your room? Grounding can help negate that. Grounding can help negate it. It can help neutralize the ill effects of the electromagnetic frequencies. So the earthing mat. Also, it comes with a little bracelet. So what I've been doing during the day, I'll hook it on, the bracelet on, while I'm on my computer, plug it in. I'm working on the computer. So those of you that do spend a lot of time on the computer, at work or whatever, just plug this in to your outlet near your computer, and then you can be working on it. They also sell grounding mats that you can put your bare feet. But I think this is simpler to use. So my wife and I are doing a lot of traveling, and this is very lightweight. I put it in my suitcase, takes up hardly any space. So do we have an agreement that we're all going to get an earthing mat and see what it does to our glaucoma? And then it'll kind of be scientific because I'm taking all the data points now. And in 6 months, when you come back, we can see what it's doing to your pressure. Because I do believe that glaucoma is related to the autonomic nervous system. And certainly If you're not getting a good night's sleep, it's going to affect your autonomic nervous system. If you're under stress from whatever factors, that's going to affect your heart rate variability. And we got a baseline of your heart rate variability too. So I know for myself, it has dramatically affected my heart rate variability.
How will you know if there is an improvement in the intraocular pressure that is from the mat and not from all the other therapies?
Well, one thing that I found is that the microcurrent does not lower the intraocular pressure. It does not. Maybe 1 or 2 millimeters of mercury. The main effect of the microcurrent is to stimulate the function of the optic nerve, improves the circulation to the optic nerve, has a neuroprotective effect. All these things are documented. But my interest is, what is the underlying cause of the glaucoma? And I really believe that something is going on in the autonomic nervous system. That's my theory. So with the microcurrent machine, we do have the brain balancing and we do have relaxation frequencies. They are in your glaucoma. So I want you to do the stress treatment maybe once or twice a day, depending on how you feel. One thing that I've found is immediately after the stress, I've done the heart rate variability, which all of you had. Sometimes my stress is off the chart. And immediately after doing the microcurrent stress, it's back to normal. It's remarkable. So doing the microcurrent stress relaxation along with this, I think are going to be 2 very, very powerful treatments. And then we'll find out. Now, one thing is that I do not want you to stop any of your eye drops. So if you're taking eye drops for your glaucoma, I want you to continue those. It should be up to the discretion of your ophthalmologist back home, whether he wants to discontinue. And of course, when I evaluate you again in 6 months, we'll be looking very carefully at your pressure, your visual field, all these parameters to see. And I may make a recommendation to stop some of your eye drops. But even if you do, you never want to stop the eye drops cold turkey because you can have a rebound effect. What you want to do is just gradually maybe cut it back every other day, gradually taper it. You never want to stop it cold turkey. So all of the therapies that you're doing today are primarily to improve the circulation of the nerve, help regenerate the optic nerve, help give the optic nerve more life. The homeopathic remedy that all of you have been given is to act as a catalyst to try to treat the underlying cause. So all of us had the homeopathic interview. We talked about your childhood, what you like to do, your nature, your temperament, food cravings, body temperature, because we're treating you, the unique aspect of you. So that's the homeopathic approach. So all these approaches. So what we're adding here, and this group is unique, what we're adding is the grounding. So I want you to promise me that you are going to institute the grounding, and then we'll get a better idea of the effect in 6 months. Because I've been treating glaucoma patients probably for close to 20 years, maybe longer, using microcurrent. So I do know what is expected over 6 months. So we'll be able to put those data points to see if there's an improvement. Sleep every night with the grounding sheet and try to use this intermittently during the day. This little wrist bracelet.
Can you sleep with that instead of the mattress, or that's not good?
I think the mat would be more effective, but you could sleep with this.
Okay.
Do you have to plug in the mat, or you just lay it on?
You have to plug it in. So you do need a circuit which has a good ground.
Oh.
So it comes with this little testing device. You plug it in, and you'll know if you have a good ground. Because I don't want you to be sleeping with the mat and find out you have a faulty ground. So you do need a 3-prong outlet. A 2-pronged outlet does not have a ground. And what you might want to do is turn off your Wi-Fi. And don't, sleep with your cell phone. Get rid of the TV. A couple of programs ago, we had an electrical engineer, and I said, there has to be a way to develop an app, because now they have apps which can turn on or off a rheostat. A rheostat's kind of like a relay, so theoretically, you could have an app, and you hit the app, and it would turn off your main circuit breaker in your home. So you would be sleeping electromagnetically neutral, and everything would be off in your home.
So if you have your phone like on your bedside table, that's not good. Like it's still giving off.
Still giving off.
So you really should keep it out of the room.
Yeah, what I do is I use my alarm on my phone, so it's in a different room.
So then you have to get up.
I hear the alarm go off, so I can't just hit it with my hand and go back to sleep.
Is it in airplane mode? Where does that fall into the category?
I'm not sure. I think the airplane mode turns off the signal,
Okay.
turns off the Wi-Fi.
You could keep your maybe phone in the room with
In
like
airplane
airplane mode on.
That I'm not sure. I would have to investigate it with the acoustometer
Yeah.
to see what's going on. But I do know when you get a phone call and you're talking to someone, you don't want to hold it next to your head. I mean, there's been studies that definitely have linked it to brain cancer.
May I ask you that? Because I do, and Sarah was asking, so I have a speaker, and she said, Mom, you can't be having it, on speaker, but would you suggest using your earplug? I mean, that earphone that comes with the phone?
Yeah, if you use the earbuds, is that good?
Earbuds will carry the electromagnetic frequency, and the earbuds may even be worse. But they do sell electromagnetically neutral earbuds.
Okay,
You can get those online.
well, okay.
Yeah, online. Best thing to do with your phone,
That probably won't work with Apple. You know how it is. Apple, they want their own.
Film products.
Exactly.
no, you can plug it in. I have one for my Apple phone.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
It plugs it in. You need a special connection to take it to a RCA.
Maybe a 3.5. Right.
It changes it.
Attention to the. Oh,
Yeah.
I see.
But you guys have excellent ears, because I know I've tried to hold it, and I can't ever hear that well.
Well, you put it on speaker.
Well, see, I do put it on the speaker, but then it's so loud, I feel like I'm just, if you're in a situation like this.
Right. Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna look for the. Let me know when you get it.
What about your Apple Watch? Because I mean, you can talk and do all. I mean, I'm skeptical.
The Apple Watch is a problem.
Oh, I know, but look.
It's putting an electromagnetic signal into your body.
Right?
Oh, really?
Because I mean, it's sending signals on everything.
Oh,
It's
what
a-
about sitting with the computer
Oh, no.
like this?
Very dangerous.
Really?
A good friend of mine developed pancreatic cancer or stomach cancer. He would always keep it on his lap. There's signals. So you need to there's something called a Faraday shield. It's a metal shield made out of lead that reduces the electromagnetic effect.
So you should never keep it in your lap.
Should not have it on your lap, have it on a table.
Matt, stay on your lap with the laptop on that. Would that be?
A graphite mat would stop it.
Okay.
And what about like having like a coat? Does that stop it?
No.
No.
It has to be metal, contain lead or something to block the signal.
But you see, I was right. My husband sleeps with the cell phone under the pillow, and I'm always like, "Come on, Doug, please." Oh, come on, he says. He's okay. So now it's like that's affecting me also. So
Yeah.
area.
So anyway, there's a lot you can do. Those of you that have trouble sleeping, number one, identify if there's a smart meter near your bedroom. If there is, you got to move your bedroom. Either that or get a Faraday shield. You can Google Faraday shield and put it on your wall where the smart meter is. Number two is look at your Wi-Fi signal in your bedroom. And if you have a strong signal, shut the Wi-Fi off at night. You have to do that. Remove any active electrical equipment. You have an alarm clock that's running, There's current flowing through the wire, which is producing a magnetic wave. Get rid of the TV. Even though the TV may be off, I think there's still some capacitors and electrical equipment that are still operating on a baseline. Maybe not so with the newer microcircuitry and chips, but I know the old TVs would have a capacitor and tubes which would be running. So look at those things, and of course you're going to get the earthing net. Interesting fact, there's only one place on Earth that is completely devoid, absent of any electromagnetic signals.
Somewhere in the Southwest.
In the bottom of the Grand Canyon. In the bottom of the Grand Canyon, your cell phone doesn't work, even satellite phones don't work, because you're shielded from all the electromagnetic. So one of the best nights of my life was sleeping at the bottom of the Grand Canyon. Absolutely no unwanted electromagnetic activity. So I'm really kind of excited that we're all going to work together, see if this is a factor with glaucoma. And read Dr. Sinatra's book, Earthing. Phenomenal book. Phenomenal book. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to do your exit testing. It's kind of exciting. We're going to repeat all of the tests that you did 3 days ago, and we're going to see how you stand with your acuity, contrast, and your color visual field. And we're also going to repeat the visual evoked potential to see how you stand. And then I'll be meeting with each one of you to go over what our strategy is for the next 6 months, and answer all your questions. And of course, I'm happy that a lot of you are going to come here tomorrow. We'll be open all day tomorrow. My wife and I are not going to be here. We're leaving early in the morning. We're going to the Hawaiian Eye meeting, which is a major ophthalmology meeting, where I like to keep up to date. We'll be leaving here at 3:30, so if anybody wants to come here to say goodbye, I'll have coffee and can say goodbye to us, okay? That'll be nice. But anyway, it's always a sad day for us because I mentioned that you're part of our family. No matter where you live, you can tell your friends that you have a place in Florida. So if you do visit Florida, you're always welcome to stop in. Especially if you live locally, but even John, he's...
We're 2,500 miles away.
Yeah, he may be setting the record for the most visits. But when you do visit, you can use all of our equipment. You can use the boomer mat, the hyperbaric chamber, the Thor laser. So just the only thing we ask you is, give the staff a call to make sure that they're here and they'll accommodate you. Then we're having our vision event, February 15th and 16th. It's an exciting lineup, so make sure you sign up, tell your friends about it. Go to kondrotevent.com, and it's going to be a live stream event over 2 days. And I don't expect anybody to be sitting by their computer or phone listening to the event for 2 days. So everything's going to be recorded, and it will be available for you online to kind of listen at your leisure.
You said kondrotevent.com?
.com.
Okay.
Did you find it?
Oh, you know what? I didn't search it. I'm just writing it down. But
Oh, yeah, kondrotevent.com. If you have trouble finding it, just give the staff a call. So for all of you that are in the Kondrot program, there's no charge. Those of you or friends that may want to tune in, there's a $95 registration fee, and 100% of that will go to our mission work. And I think I mentioned 100% of our vitamin products, 100% of our equipment sale goes towards mission. To be honest with you, the rest of it goes towards paying the staff and overhead. So my wife and I are kind of semi-retired. We're mainly working just to get money to do mission work because we are self-funded. So when we're flying to Africa, we got to pay for our own airfare. most of the times we're bringing equipment, supplies that are coming out of our pocket. We do have a 501c3, the Restore Vision Foundation, and I believe that at the end of the year, you can deduct a certain amount of your money that you owe for taxes to a 501c3, and that comes off the top. So if you're looking for a charitable organization, think of us. And of course, if you win the lottery, think of us. If you need to have a quick tax write-off, think of us. So what we're going to do is we have a couple of videos I want to show you about some of our mission work, so you can understand the passion that my wife and I have for the mission work. And also, you are welcome to join us at any time. You don't have to have any particular skill for that. Did you want to say?
Do you want it on?
Yeah, we can leave it on. I'm going to turn it off, but... So anyway, you're part of our family. We're going to do a group picture before you leave.
I did not come prepared.
Dr. Kondrot, can I just ask you about the microcurrent? Is that really meant to be kind of a lifelong thing, especially for the patients that are already in the program? Or is there?
That's a good question. Unfortunately, our bodies are aging, and microcurrent is anti-aging. The analogy is when a woman goes to the cosmetic counter and buys wrinkle cream. How long do I have to use this? Do I have to use it all my life? Well, unfortunately, our bodies are getting older. Now, I do believe that most of you will need to use the microcurrent every day. But as you relax your autonomic nervous system, as you change your diet, improve your oxygenation, etc., you'll probably need the microcurrent much less. So I have many patients who are using it maybe once a week.
And since you've had such a long time, a period to have studied people who've been doing microcurrent, what have you seen as far as, how you're measuring the improvement in optic nerve health by checking the nerve fiber layers, how thick it's gotten, and what kind of numbers have you seen?
We see patients every 6 months. And we do have what we call our continued care program. The continued care, you can sign up for another year, and that'll enable you to come here to Florida for two visits, 2 additional 2 to 3 visits, and that includes all your vitamins. And so we have people that have come back here every 6 months for maybe 5 or 6 years. So we're recording their vision over time. So we are looking at acuity. We're looking at contrast, we're looking at the health of the nerve fiber layer. And my observation is the people that follow the program faithfully are the ones that have the best response. And those of you that don't have a response, then I want to know why. I want to know why, because there's always something, maybe we're missing something. But right now, the protocol that we have has been very, very successful for the majority of people. We also are incorporating stem cells into the program. Stem cells are responsible for regeneration. And fortunately, if you're 70 years old, your stem cells are 70 years old. The microcurrent and light therapy has been shown to stimulate the activity of stem cells. So that's one mechanism that the microcurrent has. Removing heavy metals, improving your nutrition, relaxation, all these things will improve stem cell activity. So if I cut my finger, I don't have to call up the doctor and get stem cell therapy. You know, I have stem cells in my body. But some patients, and I usually ask patients to wait for at least 6 months to improve the vitality and health of your body. But stem cells have been beneficial in acting as a catalyst to help rejuvenate. So I've been studying with a brilliant surgeon in Italy, Dr. Paolo Limoli, who's developed a really innovative mechanism of delivering stem cells to the eye. And I'll be talking about that at the Vision event. And he's been getting really good results. So I am doing stem cells, but I think his technique will be much more effective for people who might be interested in stem cells.
Where is the event going to be held?
In the comfort of your living room in Washington, the state of Washington.
I wanted to attend it.
It's not going to be.
Oh, it's not, okay.
It's not going to be a live event here. This year, it's only live streaming. Maybe 2021, we may have a physical event and live streaming. But this year, it's just live streaming. But we do have a lot of folks that are coming in during that time period for their follow-up. So we'll be having follow-ups, but there's no way to actually be there. I'm going to be in the studio with the equipment, and we're trying to, get the production ready.
Okay.
So go to Kondrot event for that.
Question, do you have everything all together? Like when you say events and then videos and then is everything in the same vicinity,
When you go to Kondrot event, you'll register, and then once you register, I'll give you the link, the password. There's two ways to join the production. One is on your phone. You can just hear the audio on your phone, because you do need a fairly good internet connection to be able to live stream. So a lot of people have had difficulty live streaming. So what some people can do is you can live stream and have your phone right there. You can hear the audio, but everything will be recorded. So later on, you can go back if you wanted to listen to something in particular.
And that will be at Kondrot.
No, that'll be a separate link.
Oh, okay.
And you'll get that link.
Okay.
You'll have that link, but we'll be putting that together after the event. We'll have a special web page where you can go to, and there'll be a password, so to go there.
Yeah, have you seen in any patient increase in the nerve fiber layers?
Oh yes, that's a very common change. Improvement of visual field and increase in the nerve fiber layer. I'd be disappointed if I don't see an improvement in you.
What do you think is like the single most, like if you had to prioritize all these different like treatments and therapies, if you're short on time, like what's like the one thing that you think is most helpful?
That's a tough question. I think it's different, but I talked about the levels of healing. The bottom level is the physical, functional, homeopathic, and spiritual. I think the highest level is the spiritual and mental. That's the highest level. Miracles occur all the time. Group prayer, positive affirmations. I think a disease is a separation from God, a disconnection from the higher being. So once we overcome that disconnection, we're meant to be perfect human beings without flaws and without problems. But we get wrapped up in all these stressful situations, and we're projecting all this disharmony in our life, and then we get a disease. So the first day I talked about the power of 8. Lynn McTaggart's book, where she demonstrated the power of prayer. So you're part of our family, and our office staff, we pray for our patients all the time. It was interesting. When did we do the Camino Lapui? That was
A couple of years ago.
a couple of years ago, but the Camino Lapui is interesting. It's a 500-mile pilgrimage in France, and the tradition is you go to the church before that you do the Camino, and the priest blesses you, and they have this big basket full of petitions. And you take one or two out. These are for people that can't walk the Camino. And you take them out and you promise to pray for them as you do the Camino. So what I did is I sent an email out to my list of patients and said, if any of you want me to read a petition or prayer, send it to me. And I had the girls here type up my big list of everybody that sent a petition or prayer, and I carried it with me. I must have had about 1,000, maybe more petitions and prayers. So every night, I mean, to be honest with you, I didn't read each one in detail, but, I kind of glanced at it and did a group prayer. I couldn't actually do, I was exhausted after walking 20 miles a day and reading this list of people having all these problems. I just wanted to go to bed. But anyway, I put my heart into it. So at the end, I'm getting all these responses. It was amazing. There was a young girl that wrote to me, my father was crippled, and please pray that my father will have strength in his legs to walk me down the aisle for my wedding. And he had strength in his legs to walk him down the aisle, his daughter down the aisle. I'm an eye doctor. I don't take care of crippled people so they can walk down. But I'm getting all these reports, and it's amazing. So part of me was thinking, hey, this would be a nice way to practice. I'll just walk the Camino, take phone calls. Hey, John, yeah, I'll pray for you so you get rid of your floaters. So maybe that answers your question.
Yeah.
And you should do the Camino.
Oh, it's on my list.
Good. It's on your list. But anyway, it's a real honor for me to have all you folks here. You're part of our family, and I look forward to working with all of you over the next year to do all we can to get you the best vision possible. And this is the year 2020. We've got to make it happen, right? It's 2020. Each subsequent year, the vision's going to be less. This is 2020. Next year, it'll be 20 over 21, which is worse vision than 20 over 22. So we've got to do it now. 2020. All right. Thanks, everybody. Oh, before I forget, we really have to thank the staff. They do an amazing amount of work. And of course, Miss Lee, my wife.
You want to put the movie in?
Yeah.